Welcome to the Mindcraft podcast. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am here with the amazing Jeremy Roadruck, author of Lead Like a King, who also has a men's and couples um, relationship, long-term relationship, marriage consulting business. He is incredible. Jeremy and I met each other in a mastermind group several years ago and became fast friends right away. So without further ado, I'd like to thank Jeremy for being on the show today. Thank you for being here, Jeremy.
Yeah, Dr. Kim, thank you for having me. I'm really excited for really the first in a short series of some really cool conversations.
That's right. That's right. Jeremy and I decided to do a series because there was just way too much the first time we talked about this. You sent me some notes, Jeremy, and so lead like a king, the origins. So from chaos to mastery. Do you want to maybe kick it off with how you started this whole idea?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea I would like to leave everyone with today is really simple. Is you cannot lead anybody else until you first lead yourself, right? You've got to be the example of the thing. So in Kung Fu, we would say is you got to walk your talk, right? You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? And it has to be both and, not either or. So, hey, Minecraft family, I just want to say, hi, I'm Jeremy. I grew up with, unfortunately, some internal chaos and I had abuse in my life at a very, very young age. My parents didn't find out for about 30 years because it happened outside of the home. And, a lot of times the way we grow up is our normal, even if it's not normal. We don't know because we only have our lived experience. And so I struggled a lot with people say one thing and they mean a second thing, and then they do a third thing and they're not related to each other in any way. And I couldn't figure it out and I didn't know who I could trust, right? I couldn't trust kids. I couldn't trust adults. So I'm left figuring it out for myself. And what really brought me to a great place was discovering martial arts and Kung Fu in my 20s. It gave me discipline, it gave me self-control, and the ability to protect myself first, not have to destroy everyone else to be safe. And that journey from a wounded little boy through a martial arts master, now a dad, consultant, business owner, that has become the foundation for what I call Lead Like a King. And today I want to share some of the self-leadership changes and how that can impact everything, whether you're raising kids, running a team, rebuilding your marriage, or changing around your mindset. And so that's really kind of the place I want to start. And then we can explore where we go from here.
That sounds so good, Jeremy. I don't have nearly the experience with martial arts that you do. I took Kyokushin karate. I think you and I talked about it at a restaurant one time in I think
Yeah.
Florida. And I just remember how it was instrumental. I came also from a really turbulent situation. You and I think we're talking about that. Maybe you can share with the Mindcraft community a little more detail about just in case they're not familiar with martial arts and how that really worked for you. Right time, right place, whole thing
Hmm.
to reel you in and give you some structure. Because you could have gone a different way. We all know
Oh,
what that's
totally.
like with
Mhm.
abuse. Like both of us could have done a whole nother thing. So maybe share that with us if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I grew up with a lot of internal instability. I didn't know who I could trust and what people say, what they mean, what they do. So it left me, 6, 7 years old. I'm playing tic-tac-toe, and if I lose, some part of me believes I'm going to die. So my level of intensity was just like 1,000. And I saw the kids I was going to school with kind of recoiling back, scared because I just had so much intensity. And I realized that's not safe. So I had to become a really good chameleon and a really good mimic
Mm,
of everyone else's behavior patterns for my own
right.
safety, right? If I can make myself invisible, it's the safest place. But that's not who I really was because I was also very curious about why things work. And I had leadership capability. I had influence with my peer group. So I had a lot going for me that made it hard to hide. And getting involved with martial arts, I had learned to become very intellectually dominant, right? I met one of my Kung Fu brothers and he went to shake my hand and I said, "Oh, I don't shake hands." And I never met this guy, right? And he's a purple sash in martial arts, been training for several years. And I said, I don't shake hands. And he's like, oh yeah, why is that? And I said, well, shaking hands is a ritual between warriors to say that I'm not carrying a weapon, but you're a martial artist. You've trained your whole body to be a weapon. That makes you a liar, and I don't believe in lying. And I will tell you that Chongo hated me for 3 years and wanted to beat the crap out of me. And he prayed that I would make it till sparring, and I did. And he did beat the crap out of me. But he actually found out I wasn't the egocentric jerk I presented as, because I
Right.
was like, how did you do that? Do it again. And I would just come at him relentlessly, and he would just beat the snot out of me. But I never took it personal, and I didn't
Right.
stop. And it was like, what is wrong with this guy? Because it's like, I know there's something I'm doing wrong, and you're giving me feedback. It's fine. Keep going, because I'm going to fix this mistake until you can't stop me. And like, that was my real attitude, was this, I won't stop until I figure it out. But I was so busy rejecting myself that I knew at some point you weren't going to like me. So I'm going to make you reject me on my terms first. And the Kung Fu family I got involved with, Ming's martial arts based in Dayton, Ohio, Grandmaster Ming was not at all like that. He just met me where I was and was like, fine, cool. And how's that working for you? What else would you like? And just he just opened up opportunities. And when you're in a room full of people that can kick the crap out of you, it doesn't matter how intellectually dominant you think you are, because the reality is, have you met the floor? Boom. Have you met the wall? Boom. None of that matters. It's like,
Right.
oh, dude, this is fun. And I took that, rather than there was something wrong with me. It's like, this is what I wanted. And it helped me to get my mind and my body and my emotions to link back up and reintegrate, right? So one of the key concepts, knowledge in the mind, honesty in the heart, strength in the body. And as I became an instructor, I would frame that for my students, and I would say, okay, which one do you want?
Right. Right.
And the way I phrase it, the kids are like, I want strength in the body. Great. So you're stupid and you're weak. Or I'm sorry, you're stupid and you're dishonest. You lie all the time. Well, no, that's a problem. Okay, so it's not strength of the body. So which one's the most important? And they would say, okay, knowledge in the mind. Okay, great. So you're really smart, but you're dishonest and you're weak. Oh no, that doesn't work. Okay, cool. So it's not strength in the body. It's not knowledge in the mind. So what's left? Well, I want honesty in the heart. Okay, great. You're honest, but you're dumb and you're weak. How's that work for you? Uh, it's all three. But we have to start with
Hmm.
honesty in the heart, because then we can build what's real, because we'll be honest with ourselves about where we
Right.
are. And so it's like getting the kids to understand it's both and, not either or. That's how you integrate. Whenever you say either or and push things away, when you cut things apart, it's really hard to figure out how it all goes together. And that was for me the biggest piece for Kung Fu. And so we looked at the body and the mind and the emotions. Yes, all three, and we built them, and it's like in a circle. So we're building, and as we're building, we're expanding. So it looks like from a horizontal view, it's like, oh, we went full circle. It's like, no, 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 we elevated as we went. So there's a vertical component of there's depth to this as well.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So then somewhere along the way, these experience kind of fed your creative impulse to put it together into, and specifically men. So ladies watching, Jeremy is a master with helping couples and their relationships get through things. So stay with us because it really, this is for both of you. But you, so that really fed your desire to sort of help men conquer their inner stuff. So maybe you can tell us about that. Maybe I didn't
Yeah.
phrase it right, but led you to
So no,
that.
no, no. You're fantastic. So like I started in martial arts, and I realized, like, kids are great. Usually they need, either they have discipline, they need more confidence, or they have the confidence, they need more discipline. So we're just rounding some rough edges.
Right.
But then I realized a lot of times the kids are having problems because the parents and the parenting style, the communication style, the leadership style is out of alignment, right? If you've got a kid who's auditory, they need to hear the right stuff, but you've got visual parents who are showing them what to do all the time, you're going to have a mismatch. And it's not a lack of love. It's literally a cat talking to an elephant, and there's two different worldviews.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
so let me work with the parents on communication, leadership, alignment, motivational strategies. How do we get that to start working? And as I started working with the parents, I realized, oh, the couples are not on the same page. And a lot of times the women, right brain thinking, contextual, They see the
Mhm.
bigger picture, the meaning, the understanding, but the masculine left brain gets kind of stuck in the sequencing and the specifics. And now we've got a dog and a cat barking and meowing at each other, and they're fighting not about what is right, they're fighting about who is right. And
Okay.
so that's really the conversation because like for a lot of guys, like, but I'm not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong, but you're sleeping on the couch. How much fun is that, dude?
I love it when you say that. You're
Like
not
I've
wrong,
had that
but
relationship in the past, so I know how hard that is, how hard that sucks. But like I love sleeping next to my wife, and so I don't care about who is right. I care about what is right, and I care about us being loving and in love with each other more than
right.
anything else. And if we're not on the same page, okay, we got to fix that. So I want the feedback, please. Let me know where you're at, thinking, feeling, desiring, dreaming, fearing,
Mhm.
doubting, whatever. Like in our marriage, we only have two rules: be honest and stay out of the friend zone. Makes it real simple, right? And if either of us feels like we're being pushed into the friend zone, time to get honest. What's going on? What's blocking? What's preventing? What's creating this distance?
So the
Not
friend
because
zone
either of
meaning the
us is
couch?
wrong. Yeah, it could be the couch. It could just be, she doesn't want to hold my hand. She doesn't want to sit next to me. She
It's
doesn't want
just
me to touch
distant.
her. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it's like, oh, we're just friends and nothing more. Like, no, you're the one person on the planet that I am something more with. And if that's not flowing between us, there's something we got to deal with, right?
Right, right, right,
And
right.
so for a lot of guys, if they haven't worked on their own stuff, when their wife is in a storm, it's very easy for him to take it personally and it's my fault and I failed. And now she's out of her heart and upset, but now he's out of his head and he's upset. And it's a lose-lose game.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
all of his resources are gone, all of his playfulness is gone, and all he's doing is just like kicking his own butt. That helps nobody, dude.
Right,
So
right, right.
you're not wrong for what you did, but what do you actually want? What does she actually want? Let's just go make that happen instead,
I love that. I
right?
like the part how you said when she's in a storm or if it's a he's in a storm, because that gave me an
Mhm.
immediate visual. And you're down in Florida where there's hurricanes, and I'm thinking like
Yeah.
in the eye of the hurricane, you got all that going on around you and stuff, and it's just such a good metaphor, I
Yeah.
think.
And that's if a guy knows how to maintain presence first,
Right.
and then we can add in playfulness second and then power third, then he can move through those storms so quickly. But if he puts power first, it's a fight.
Oh, of
If he goes
course.
presence and power, very easy to get stuck on I'm right, do it my way, which
Right.
completely obliterates her doubts and fears. It just makes her feel like, oh, you're just saying I'm wrong and I'm stupid. And it's like, no, that's not what he's saying, but that's how it's received. And that becomes the perception is the reality.
Of
And the
course.
fight just gets bigger and bigger. And so this whole idea of lead like a king, it's really about nurturing the boy, mastering the man, and then leading like a king. And it's about vision and protecting and providing what's truly going on.
Mhm, mhm.
But if a guy is still dealing with his own sense of identity and power and who is he and where does he stand and what's his priorities, it's really hard to lead the kingdom and provide for the community when you don't feel like you're getting what you need to thrive. But it's
Right.
hard to ask for what you need when your little boy says, I don't deserve to be loved, or I don't deserve to be happy, or
Right.
I don't deserve to be respected. So the boy is all about fault, blame, guilt, shame, and self-sabotaging games. How do we stop that stuff? How do we replace that with ownership and the ability to respond? So when we do that, now we've created safety for our wife, for our kids, for our clients. And when we become safety, now we can truly master the man and then we can lead like a king. And that's really those sequences, those evolutions. And it's the evolution I went on myself. Like I came into martial arts 20 years old. I was a wounded little boy, making people reject me on my terms. And over time, as I got stronger inside, I got more integrated. I started to realize that the ability to influence people just by being authentically yourself,
Mhm, mhm.
that presence is the most powerful gift we have as men to offer to the people in our lives. And if you've ever had somebody be fully present with you, it's one of the most life-changing moments because
Oh,
like all the chaos around you stops and it's what we say in Kung Fu, here and now. Here is the space, now is the time, and everything else disappears. That's what a fight is, right? It's the most honest form of communication. Here's my point. Oh, I see your point. Here's my counterpoint, and we kick you, right? And so the fighting brings us into this moment, but to do what? Well, physical dominance, that's cool. Next level up, mental dominance, that's
Right,
neat.
right.
But the highest level is to connect our hearts. Because if I can have an energy exchange and I can turn you from an enemy into a friend, isn't it true I'm killing my enemies? And if I can change your heart and we get on the same page, like that's the highest skill.
I love this, Jeremy. I was thinking of because I've listened to the wisdom of Bruce Lee enough too, who's obviously all about this. The whole be the water talk and that whole thing.
Hmm.
So how do you like back to what sounds, because you and I have talked about this, but for other people who it feels new to, even it's simple yet profound, right? With this fast-paced, media saturated, stay connected, screens all how
Hmm.
how do you start helping a man, because it sounds so silly that it's hard to be present, but in this
Yeah.
world, it's tough, I think, if you're not used to it. So if it's
Yeah.
not familiar to him, he's kind of coasting on autopilot, maybe even living in limbic system or whatever. How do you help him become present at first?
Really simple exercise, right? And you can do this at home. Obviously, don't do this while you're driving, but no technology. Just get a quiet spot where you can just sit, be left alone for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And all you're going to do is take your index finger and your thumb and you just touch the two together. That's it. And then you're going to slow your breathing down and just focus on your belly button. As you breathe in, your stomach gets
Right,
bigger. As you breathe out, your stomach closes. And this is called Buddhist breathing or diaphragmic breathing.
right,
But we're breathing in for about 3 to 6 seconds and we're breathing out for 3 to 6 seconds. And the reason we're holding our thumb and index finger together is you want to feel the heartbeat in your thumb. That's it. And you just hold this very light pressure until you feel the heartbeat in your thumb. And then that's when you start counting your breaths. And you count in for 3 to 6 seconds and
right.
out for 3 to 6 seconds. And the goal is to do 10 breaths, 3 in, 3 out, or 6 in, 6 out, or some permutation. But do a cycle of 10 complete breaths without ever losing your heartbeat. If you lose your heartbeat, you start over. And you do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. And when that gets easy and you don't lose it, you can stretch the time in your breathing, or you switch fingers and you go index finger or you go middle finger to thumb. When that one gets easy, ring finger to thumb. When that's easy, pinky to thumb. When that's easy, thumb by itself. No, nothing touching, and just feel your heartbeat. Just being aware in the moment and you can feel the heartbeat. Then you switch from your right hand, do the whole sequence again with your left hand. Then you do both hands and you'll start to notice something going on with the timing in your heartbeat when you do it. That's how I know if you've actually done it or not, is you can tell me
Right.
what's going on there versus you surmise or guess. And so this is a very simple exercise. It takes as long or as short as you put energy into it. It costs you exactly zero. You don't have to download an app. You don't need a metronome. You don't need a timer other than just set a 5 or 10 minute timer. But this causes you to be in your breath, in this moment, and in your body because you're feeling your heartbeat.
I like
And
that a
so
lot.
how can you, because then when you get into stress, you can focus on your thumb, you can feel the heartbeat in your thumb and it pulls you into your your sympathetic nervous system, right? Sympathetic stress, no, parasympathetic, your pause.
Parasympathetic is the calm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it pulls you into parasympathetic, your pause system. It pulls you into rest and digest. So it causes you to gear down mentally and emotionally, right? And so that is a very simple exercise. I actually have a client. That's what I've started him with right now. And it's been 2 months and he's still struggling with it because you mean I'm just going to stay here and I'm just gonna, it's too easy. Really? It's been 2 months. How come you're still on your first two fingers? How come you haven't progressed if it's so easy? Shut up. Okay, I'm just asking. I'll never say I'm right, but I will say when you're right. And I will say when I'm wrong, but I won't say when you're wrong. But I will ask questions. So how's that going for you?
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic because like we were saying, Jeremy, it can be very difficult for people to be present,
Hmm.
especially when they're kind of residing in limbic system. It can be very, very difficult for them to actually sit with it, especially they're coming to you for a reason, right? So
Right.
there's some conflict going on, and yeah. So I was just curious. So after he becomes present, and if there's a partner or spouse with him, then what's the next step?
So first step is be present. Second thing is to really it's asking yourself, do I want to be right or do I want to get results?
Right.
Right? Because then you go, well, what is my result? What is my goal? Okay, cool. What is your vision for your marriage, for your relationship? Oh, I don't have one. Oh, well, we should probably figure that out. Right? Because if you don't have a goal or a destination and you're just winging it day by day,
Yeah.
difficult to build anything. Hard to
So
have a
in life.
kingdom. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And so it's cool. Now we got to go to your present and you're realizing because we got that honesty in the heart. I don't have a relationship vision. Like who are you? Who is she? How do you call to each other? What are you building? Where are you going? Right? If you had it all your way, how would it be? If she had it all her way, how would she have it be? Well, I don't know. Well, probably need to figure that out.
Right.
Right? Because yeah, you want a comfortable relationship where we both feel loved and supported and encouraged. That's one type of thing. Well, we want to have a passionate relationship where we're exploring the world and we're having toe curling sex. Okay, that may be a slightly different construct,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I can guide you, but I got to know where are we trying to get to. And I'm not here to judge what you should want because it's not my marriage, it's not my job. But
Hmm.
I can help clarify the specifics so that we can actually build and put the things in place to get you where you want to go.
I like that a lot, Jeremy, because like we talk about that actually a lot in our mastermind group in an entirely different context.
Mhm.
With we're all entrepreneurs in there with clarity.
Yep.
Without clarity, it's like having a GPS. I think Jake said something like you're trying to go to Los Angeles, but you have your GPS set on St. Paul, Minnesota. And
Yeah, that's it's gonna be interesting.
right. So in relationships, I like that you brought up because clarity, I would think, is really at the top of the list. What do you want and what do you want?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And what do you need? Right?
And what do
I
you
have what I call
see?
the yeah, I have what I call the five to thrive, and we lay out specific things. And the goal of the five to thrive is not this ginormous exhaustive list. It's to distill it down to the smallest possible action items. I'll give you a quick example. Is I had a client and she was dating a guy. She needs a good morning text. That's one of her needs. She needs a good
Mhm.
morning text. No good morning text, then they're both in their 50s. They're both divorced. Is he okay? Did he have a heart attack? Is he in the hospital? Is he mad at me? They live an hour apart, so they're not in constant communication. But like that good morning text sets her heart at ease, and she has one kind of day. And when she doesn't get the good morning text, she has a different kind of day. And she's in her head, she's stressed, she's worried, she's scared, all these things. Cool. So that's a need. But doesn't that make me needy? And I said, no, it's what you need. There are certain types of trees, you plant them in acidic soil for them to grow. If the soil's too basic, the soil will kill them. Some trees need to be in the sun 6 hours a day. Some of them need partial sun for an hour or two, and that's it, because otherwise they're going to get cooked.
Right.
It doesn't make the tree needy. It just means that tree has needs. So for you, a good morning text is a need. Now, on his side, he's twice divorced. He's not going to have some woman tell him what to do.
Okay.
We have a small problem. I'm not working with him. I'm just working with her. And he's not going to have some woman tell him what to do. So if she says, I need a good morning text, that could sound like some woman telling him what to do. And if he has an unresolved wound with the feminine, I'm not going to have some woman tell me what to do. He's not going to send that text because it feels like a burden, not a blessing. And so that relationship failed. And she did my five to thrive, right? And
Right.
then like I told her, you got to share this when you go on first dates. Well, no, I want to find out if I like the guy. Oh, so you want to catch feels and then find a deal killer? Oh, that makes sense. So she started showing guys this list and talking about it. And I said, the right guy for you will be excited, be curious about where it came from, and he'll be cool with doing the list. The wrong guy for you will question it, dismiss it, laugh at it, challenge it. And so on her fourth date, she met a guy who was like, holy crap, this is awesome. I've never seen this. How'd you come up with this? Tell me more. And it's April of 25. So they have now been together. That was April of 23. So they've been together over 2 years and some change. And her being her authentic self is the most amazing woman he has ever met. And it scares her that he likes her and it's so easy and effortless. And it's like, well, because he understands your five to thrive and it aligns with him and it's
Right.
natural for him to fulfill you in this way with no hesitation. He knows how to win the game, right? that's the same concept when we're studying fighting in martial arts is like if somebody positions themselves, the body has to stand a certain way to support kicking versus striking versus grappling. So how they position themselves shows you a lot of their bias, their reality, their needs, their fears. We're just aligning with what's available. It's not about finding the one, it's about removing the hell no's. And so it's like, you can never win the game with this person. Cool. Don't even bother playing. Thank them for their honesty and wish them well in their life and go focus on someone that you can win with. The guy who I'm not going to have a woman tell me what to do, you can't win with him. And it's not that he's wrong for that. He is where he is with what he's got in his life, but he's not in alignment with you and what you need to thrive. So let him go. Because the hand that holds, like when you grab someone, the hand that holds itself. So when you hold on to someone, you're stuck. When you let go and give them freedom, you have freedom too. So when we do like a wrist grab, we break free, we leave our hands open, you're free to leave. I'm not going to make you stay, but you don't get to touch me without my permission. Because my
Right.
hands are open, I can guide you off of me and create space for me to interact with you. So when you grab me, I don't grab you back because I don't want to get that wrapped up with you, but I will maintain my boundaries. I will maintain my space because I have a right to my free expression as a human being, as do you, right? And so it's the same kind of parallels is why a lot of what I did in martial arts translates so much into business, relationships,
Oh,
communication.
totally.
Yeah, parenting. Yeah.
100%. And I think it's a great idea for us to thread that through the whole 3 episodes. I was only in it for I think 2 years, but wow. I mean, there's just the wisdom just seeps into absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, so this is episode 1. The next one is going to be communication, mindset, and peak performance. So at the end of this one, Jeremy, yeah, I have a call to action. If you wanted to, looks like you said invite listeners to your free quiz.
Yep.
You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've been working with men and couples and kids. I've been working with people from 3 to 94 years old for over 30 years. And in that time, I see a lot of patterns repeat themselves. So I have a quiz primarily for men. It's at leadlikeaking.com/quiz, and it's 9 questions. Takes you about 2 to 5 minutes to answer. Just give yourself a rating 0 to 10, but in 9 critical dimensions. If you're missing or having a problem in one of these 9 areas, it's going to lead to predictable problems in relationships, in mindset, in business, in pretty much everywhere. And so this quiz is designed to give you like a custom, I call it a heat map, but it gives you a map of where are you at, where are you good, where are you struggling. And it starts to explain like you're not crazy, but
Right.
where you want to be, your shoulds, where you are, your is out of alignment. Cool. How can we turn this into something more powerful? And I'll give you a quick example of that. I had a dad take the quiz and he gave himself a 2 out of 10 in presence. Okay, so what's going on 2 out of 10? Well, I got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old at home. And I tell you, man, after about 10 minutes of them having a meltdown or yelling or whatever, I just lose it and I'm yelling at them and I don't want to be that dad, but I don't know what else to do. And it just gets to me. Okay, well, that's a 2. You are where you are, dude. So what would be a 10? I never get mad at my sons. Okay. I don't know never get mad is possible, but not here to judge. That's your 10.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right.
Um, what would be, let's say an hour of them yelling and screaming and you're calm, cool, collected, playful, present, all the things. What would that be? Oh, that'd be amazing. Okay, but that's not a number. So, would that be like would that be like a 9? Yeah, at least a 9. Okay, fantastic. So you're at a 2 for 10 minutes and a 9 would be 60 minutes. So if we could get you to a 3, say 20 minutes, them freaking out and you're calm, cool, collected. Would that be pretty cool? Oh, that'd be awesome. Cool. I can do that in the next 30 days guaranteed, right? Because I know strategies to help him de-escalate
Right.
himself,
Right.
but to
Right.
de-escalate them, right? But that's what this chart allows is we can begin to start taking these big, huge, messy problems. Sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50 years people have been struggling, and because I'm lensing it from a place of no judgment, just understanding, and bookend it for me, where are you at? Where do you think you should be? Or what would be a 10 to you? Now I have the gap. I can build things to get you there in days or weeks instead of months, years, sometimes decades. Because I see people struggle with stuff, and it's like, no, we just need to change the game you're playing, and we need to change the story you're telling, and you can get there. And so we'll talk about that in the further episodes. I've transformed a marriage in one conversation with the husband, and then he had a conversation with his wife, and everything changed. And so it's not that there's a lack of love. Sometimes it's just a lack of clear strategy, and you're trying your best. But if you're trying your best to be right, you're going to be struggling a lot versus focus on getting your results.
Oh, I like that a lot. So listeners, please, 2 to 5 minute quiz. That's just a jump on it. That's just self awareness is key to the good. Living the good life is really, because we can't do what we don't know, right? When we know better, we can do better. So I would take advantage of Jeremy's quiz. And again, the second episode will be in a couple weeks, and that's communication mindset and peak performance from soldier to sovereign. I love that. So right now, Jeremy, we'll say thank you for being here with us today,
My
and we look
pleasure.
forward to see. Yeah, absolutely. We look forward to seeing everybody in a couple weeks. Stay tuned.